I know how this title sounds, and I know what some of you probably assumed when you read it. But let me tell you something. This story isn't what you think. It's not about controversy. It's about connection, about trust, about the complicated, beautiful, sometimes messy bonds that form in the most unexpected ways. This is the story of me and my stepson, how we learned to be a team when the world expected us to stay distant strangers. It started 3 years ago. I married his mother after a whirlwind year of dating. She was warm, strong, full of life. And he was guarded, quiet, 14 years old and already carrying more on his shoulders than most adults ever do. His name is Caleb. The first time I met him, he looked right through me, like I was just another name passing through his mom's life. He didn't say much. He didn't have to. His eyes did all the talking. They said, "I've seen too much. I don't trust easy. And I'm not sure you belong here." I'll be honest. That first year was rough. It's strange being in someone's life halfway through their childhood, expected to parent them, guide them, care about them, when you're practically a stranger in their eyes. I tried to connect. We'd talk about school, I'd ask him about video games, sports, whatever I thought he was into. But everything felt forced, like I was standing at a door, knocking, and he was just on the other side, refusing to open it. Then one evening, everything shifted. His mom had to work a double shift. It was a Friday. Storm was rolling in. Caleb was supposed to go hang out with some friends, but they canceled last minute. So it was just the two of us. Awkward silence. Rain tapping against the windows. I was about to head into my office to work when he said something that caught me off guard. He looked up from his phone and asked, "You ever build anything with your hands?" I turned around. "What do you mean?" He shrugged. "I mean, like, really build something, not just IKEA shelves or whatever." I blinked. "I mean, I've done some stuff. Fixed up an old motorcycle once. Built a treehouse with my dad. When I was a kid." And then he looked at me. Really looked at me. "You think we could build something?" I paused. He'd never asked me for anything before, never initiated anything. "Yeah," I said, trying to keep my voice calm even, though inside my heart was pounding. "What did you have in mind?" He hesitated, then he said it. "A go-kart." I laughed, thinking he was joking, but he wasn't. He had this whole plan. Blueprints he'd printed out, diagrams, a list of parts. He'd been thinking about it for months, watching videos, reading forums. All he needed was someone to do it with. And I told him, without even thinking, "Let's do it. Let's build it together." He didn't even hesitate. He stood up and said, "Cool. Can we start tonight?" That night was the beginning of something I never expected. We didn't have all the tools. We didn't have all the parts, but we had a shared goal. And for the first time since I came into his life, it felt like we were on the same team. We started small, stripped down an old lawnmower engine, went hunting for parts at junkyards, spent hours in the garage, covered in grease, listening to music, arguing about bolt sizes and gear ratios. At first, we didn't talk much outside of the project, but in those quiet moments, handing each other wrenches, measuring pieces of scrap metal, something was growing. Trust, respect. One night, about a month in, we were working late. His mom had gone to bed. We were trying to figure out why the chain kept slipping off the sprocket. I must have said something that sounded frustrated because he looked up and said, "You don't have to keep doing this if it's too much." I stopped what I was doing. "What do you mean?" He looked down. "I know I'm not your real kid." That hit me in the gut. I walked over, sat next to him on the cold garage floor. "Caleb, listen. You might not be my biological son, but you're my family. I chose to be here. I want to be here. Building this with you, it's not too much. It's the best thing I've done in a long time." He didn't say anything right away, just nodded. But in that silence, something cracked open. The wall between us started to come down. From that night on, it wasn't just about the go-kart. It was about showing up, being present, learning each other's rhythms. Started learning about him, how he hated math but loved engineering, how he missed his real dad but didn't know how to say it, how he felt like he had to protect his mom even though he was still just a kid. And he started asking me about my past, about mistakes I'd made, times I'd felt lost. We talked like two people trying to figure out life, not just stepfather and stepson. It took us 3 months, but we built that go-kart from scratch. The first time we started the engine and it roared to life, he jumped up, fist in the air like he'd won the Super Bowl. "You did it," I yelled. "No," he shouted. "Back." We did it. We took it to an empty parking lot the next weekend. He drove first, did a few loops. Then he pulled up next to me, grinning from ear to ear, and said, "Get in." I looked at the tiny seat next to him. "You sure?" He smirked. "I told you I built it for both of us." So I got in, and we tore through that lot, wind in. Our faces, both of us laughing like little kids. People driving by probably thought we were nuts, but I didn't care. In that moment, I wasn't thinking about being a stepdad, or whether I was doing it right. I was just there, in the passenger seat, riding shotgun with a kid who finally let me in. That go-kart still sits in our garage. It's a little beat up now, paint's chipped, one of the wheels wobbles. But we don't plan to fix it. It's a monument, a memory. And every time I see it, I think about that night he asked me to build something. I told him yes, and he didn't even hesitate. Not because the project was easy, but because for the first time in his life, someone showed up and stayed. Sometimes what a kid needs isn't a perfect parent. They need presence, they need patience, they need someone to say, "Let's do this, together." And when they feel that, they'll let you in. Caleb's 17 now, taller than me, smarter than me, still stubborn as ever. But he's found his path. Applying to engineering schools, still tinkering, still building. And every once in a while, when he gets stuck on something, he'll pop his head in my office and say, "Hey, want to come help me figure this out?" And I always say, "Yes," because I remember the day he asked me to build a go-kart, and I remember how he didn't even hesitate.